I'm not sure if you can
Hello
hear
there,
us.
peasants. I'm King Henry VIII, one of England's greatest rulers, or perhaps the greatest, by my own standards, that is. I have come here today to share with you some of my tumultuous life as a king, so please bear with me for the next few minutes.
S-a auzit ceva?
Yes.
Okay, and a glimpse into Elizabeth I.
Distinguished audience, it is I, Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, the last of the Tudor dynasty, and I'm sure we can all agree, the only Tudor who was not insane. I reigned for 45 tumultuous years. I defeated the Spanish Armada. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you agree?
So,
Okay.
please tell me, what kind of app did you use for these lovely animations?
It's called Chatterpix.
Chatter.
Yes, and you upload a photo and then you record your voice.
Oh, I'll do this next time. I don't know who to pick, but I'm going to choose someone famous. Thanks.
Another presentation. Se vede?
Yeah.
Dead King's Talking.
It would be my time to go ahead.
To shine.
Oh, yes. I was born in 1491 in London. Initially, I was not supposed to become a king, but as my elder brother, Arthur, who was next in line for the throne, died, I became the heir, and at the age of 18, on the 24th of June, 1509, I was crowned king. I am also known to be a particularly cruel king who sent many people to the Tower of London to be beheaded if they weren't to my liking anymore. You may also have heard that I had 6 wives. Their fate went as such, in order: divorced, beheaded, died; divorced, beheaded, survived. My first wife was Catherine of Aragon, who was my brother Arthur's wife. Sometime later, Catherine gave birth to my first child, Mary, who was to be queen. My second wife, Anne Boleyn, gave birth to my second daughter, Elizabeth, who was one of the greatest rulers of England. Though I am sad to say I had to have Anne executed due to me having suspicions of adultery and conspiracy against me. Soon after, I married Jane Seymour, who was also my favorite wife. She was the one to give birth to a male heir, which was what I had desired from the beginning from my wife. Sadly, soon after Edward's birth, who became king, my wife Jane died. After that, I had 3 more marriages. One was with Anne of Cleves, whom I soon divorced. Another with Catherine Howard, who I ordered to be beheaded. And my last wife was Catherine Parr, who outlived me. Throughout my time as a ruler, I have accumulated quite a few achievements over the years, such as establishing the Church of England and naming myself head of church with the first act of supremacy, starting the dissolution of Catholic monasteries, creating England's Royal Navy with up to 50 ships, uniting England and Wales legally, and ordering the building of Mary Rose, the first English gunship. I have listed just a few of them, as I do not want to brag, and so I have decided to end my story here. Thank you very much.
I've witnessed and endured so much cruelty throughout my life. You see, my father's hobby was beheading his wives, and when I was just 2 years old, he ordered the execution of my mother, Anne Boleyn. After that, I was declared illegitimate, a bastard, if you may. I was raised far from the court and far from my father. Luckily, I had access to education. I don't mean to boast, but I became fluent in French, Latin, Italian, and Greek. I've impressed all of my tutors and was considered a model pupil. Later on, as a teenager, I was abused by my stepfather, Thomas Seymour, then a victim of sibling rivalry, accused of conspiring against my sister Mary in Thomas Wyatt's rebellion, then placed under house arrest for nearly 1 year. No wonder they call her Bloody Mary. She almost killed her sister. I became queen after my sister's death and was crowned in 1559. Again, I don't mean to boast, but in my queen years, I was more moderate than my family, and I promoted toleration, a woman ruler in a patriarchal world. Against all odds and expectations, I was a powerful and wise ruler. My most memorable victory was against the Spanish Armada in 1588. Again, I don't mean to brag, but during my reign years, drama flourished, led by William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. Even though I was a Protestant, I stopped persecution on religious grounds and made punishments milder for those who did not comply, in hope of establishing unity in the state. I was married to my country and refused to find a spouse. Why haven't I married? A question I'm quite tired of. First of all, because I became aware of practical political advantages of celibacy. Secondly, because I had trust issues after my father's attitude towards my mom and myself, and after being abused by my stepfather. And thirdly, because one of my tutors gave me a translation of The Virtues of a Single Life, from which I learned that marriage distracts the soul from the worship of God. I wasn't the prettiest of women, that much I know. However, I had a few tricks up my sleeve to compensate for my shortcomings. I made the women around me dress bluntly, modestly, while I wore extravagant and impeccable gowns. You might have heard a few complaints from my servants because the daily amount of time it took to dress and undress me, and they were not lying. I spent 4 hours of my day putting gowns on and taking them off. I also had over 2,000 pairs of gloves, and I never wore the same clothes twice. All in all, I was a charismatic figure. Wouldn't you agree? And now the questions. When did King Henry's coronation take place?
On the 24th of June, 1509.
Correct.
What was King Henry's and Anne Boleyn's daughter? Who was King Boleyn? King Henry and Anne Boleyn's daughter?
Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, thank you. And name 2 reasons why Elizabeth might have chosen to maintain her celibacy.
Practical political advantages.
Yes.
Because she thought that marriage distracts the soul from the worship of God, and she had trust issues after her personal experiences.
Thank you. Thank you. That was all.
All right. So congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect job. Perfect job. Now I know about Chatterpix. The presentation was very personal. Yeah, you turned information into something really appealing. And from the people who had their cameras on, they were